Hey guys, it's Nito here. I just wanted to get together and I wanted to share with you guys about being worthy. A lot of us think that a lot of us aren't perfect. First of all, we come short in the presence of God, and I believe that is true. And I believe that we end up lying to ourselves so much of that we can't do this, can't do that, and we end up believing it to the point where we end up believing our own lies. I want to share a story with you guys. It was about a king. He had an amazing kingdom, beautiful kingdom. The king had everything he wanted, obviously, but there was a problem with the king, and he did not have no kids, and he was becoming really old. So with the king, since he couldn't have no kids and he was becoming really old, he needed to pass down his kingdom to somebody young. So what happened is that the king said, "This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna distribute seeds all over the four corners of the kingdom. Whoever takes good care of the seed can rule the kingdom." So what happened is that the servants end up sending out the seeds all over the kingdom. And there's this kid named David. David received this seed, and David was so excited for this seed. He was like, "I'm gonna take good care of this seed. I'm gonna water it. I'm gonna give it enough sunlight. I'm gonna make sure it does never dry, And he was so excited for this. The king gave these kids 3 months and to make this seed grow, to make good care of it, and to water it, and to soil it, and do everything to this plant. Well, the first one came by, and David's pot had nothing in it. So David was like, "Oh, probably it's a late bloomer, So what happened is the second one came by, still nothing in it. The third month came by. At the middle of the third month, David finally gave up. He said, "You know what? There's no point. There's no point. I'm not going to be able to take nothing to the king. There's no point. What am I going to do?" So David was so sad that David's sad dad came up. He said, "Son, what's wrong?" And David told his dad, "I have nothing in my pot. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can offer to the king." David's dad responded, "There's always time. You have 2 more weeks left. Give it time." So David, said, "All right, you're right. I have 2 more weeks." 2 weeks came by, still nothing. King ended up calling all the kids that had these plants, all these pots full of plants, to come to the kingdom. And David didn't go. David felt so shameful. He was so embarrassed. And when David was sitting there at his porch, just sad out of his mind, just really just depressed, David's dad came up to him and told him, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Dad, I have nothing to offer the king. I have nothing in my pot." So David's dad said, "I still think you should pay respects to the king. I still think you should show up to show respect." So then David said, "You know what? You're right. I'm gonna go." So David went to the king. Now, David, when he got to the palace, he saw all these kids with pots, with the plants were so high, so tall, And David was just like, he was so embarrassed. And when he got there, these kids made fun of him. They're like, "Look at this kid. He has a plantless pot." And he was like, "You know what? We should put him in the front so that the king could put him to shame." So what they did, they put the kid in the very front of the whole crowd so the king could see him. Now when the king came out, he was wild when he came out. Because he saw all these plants. He saw all these pots full of plants. They were so tall, so green, so nice. But he wasn't wild of the plants. He was wild of David. When the king saw David, he said, "Come up front." He said, "You are the chosen one. You are the one I'm picking to rule over this kingdom." When the king said this, the kids were surprised. They were like, "What in the world is going on?" And the king said this, "Before I sent out the seeds, I baked them. So therefore, you weren't able to plant a seed." So all these kids that had all these plants in the pots so high up, they weren't supposed to be planted. A plant wasn't supposed to come out of this baked seed. And I don't know if you guys know about a baked seed, but when you bake a seed, it's not able to grow. After the king got finished saying what he had to say, he looked at David and told him, "David, since you became humble and respectful and loyal to my command, you are worthy for the kingdom." and this is what I'm trying to get at, guys. When we obey God and walk a Jesus-driven life and respect His commands and respect everything He has to offer us and appreciate everything He has to offer us, we become worthy of the kingdom of heaven. Now, yes, we fall short of His presence now, but in the end, we are worthy of His presence, guys. It's the reason why Jesus came down here to die for our sins, to give us another chance of eternal life. And because of His love and mercy, and because of His joy that He gives us that we sometimes can't explain, that we just so much, it's a bundle of joy that we can't explain, that He has loved us. And I believe that even when you feel depressed, or when you feel sad, or when you feel that you can't go up no more, when you don't have enough strength, I believe that you are still worthy of the kingdom of heaven. All we gotta do is give our burdens to God, because we can't do this on our own. We have limited strength, but God is limitless. And I don't know about you today, guys, but I believe that with everything is possible. And we also gotta remember that with God, there's no barrier. Alright? And let me get this clear to you guys right now. Remember that the process might change, but the result is still the same. God has gave us a promise that when we go up with Him in the kingdom, that we will be filled with joy, love, and peace, and there will be no sickness for eternity and eternity and eternity. And guys, I just want to really share that with you guys, because I want to give you guys some encouragement. I just want to keep making more videos like this, guys. In closing, guys, I want to share the scripture. It's Matthew 23:12. It says, "And whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." So remember, I just want you guys to remember, guys, that we got to stay humble at all times. We can't let pride get in our system, guys, because that really ruins relationships. It can ruin anything. So I just advise you guys to be humble in anything you guys do, to love one another, and to just really stay focused on what God has in store for all of us. Thank you, guys, and I appreciate share this video, guys, and God bless. But God bless, guys.